Things North Korea doesn't want you to see. The 23 worst things about North Korea. Located in the northern part of the Korean Peninsula, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is a country that draws global attention due to its mystery and unique characteristics, being completely isolated from the world. Currently, there is very little we know about this country. However, thanks to the emergence of various media channels, more information about what is happening inside North Korea is being leaked to other countries, from the pleasure squad consisting of girls serving Kim Jong Un to the ban on laughing for 11 days, and the infamous Camp 22, the world's most brutal prison. North Korea's secrets can shock and terrify anyone. Let's explore 23 things North Korea doesn't want you to see to uncover the darkest secrets of this nation. Number 22. The Pleasure Squad. Under Kim Jong Un's leadership, North Korea is a country enveloped in strict laws and hidden secrets. Notably, it has a pleasure squad consisting of 30 to 40 women. This squad is made up of attractive young women who provide entertainment and sexual services. These women are carefully selected to ensure the satisfaction of Supreme Leader Kim Jong Un and high-ranking officials. They pay a high price for being forced into these roles. The origin of the squad can be traced back to Kim Jong Un's grandfather, Kim Il-sung, who initiated such squads in the 1970s. For decades, the existence of these squads remained secret, but defectors have shed light on them. There are rumors that these women undergo a mysterious training program, refining their artistic performance skills to entertain the higher echelons of power, including the elusive Supreme Leader. The secrecy surrounding this group is believed to involve concerning activities like virginity testing. What do you think about this squad? Share your thoughts below. Number 21. Saving the leaders' portraits first in a house fire. In case of a house fire, North Korean citizens are required to save the portraits of their leaders before anything else, even their children. Failing to do so can result in imprisonment. Every North Korean household is required to hang portraits of the late leaders Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il in the most prominent place in the living room. Not only must families hang portraits of the country's leaders, but they also must hang them in all main rooms of the house, except the bathroom and garage. In addition to hanging portraits on the walls, many people also wear badges with the leaders' images on their chests. If these requirements are not met, individuals are considered traitors or spies. The portraits must be carefully cleaned with a special chemical. If anyone is caught using unclean items like table rags to clean the portraits, they will face significant trouble. There are patrol teams that monitor the cleanliness of these portraits, conducting unannounced inspections. These inspectors wear white gloves to check for dust on the glass covering the portraits. What do you think about this practice? Share your thoughts below. Number 20. The three-generation punishment rule. The three-generation punishment is a term often used in North Korean media, meaning that if someone commits a serious crime, typically ideological in nature, 3 generations of their family will be punished. Many of North Korea's adversaries have fallen victim to this policy. For example, former South Korean President Park Geun-hye, daughter of Park Chung-hee, who was cursed for 3 generations, was condemned by North Korean media as having to pay dearly for the crimes. That transformed South Korea into a graveyard of freedom. Under this system, if an individual is convicted of a crime, the consequences extend not only to them, but also to their descendants. This brutal tool is used by the regime to maintain strict control over the populace. When someone is convicted under this rule, it can lead to long-term repercussions for their entire family, lasting for generations. In some cases, whole families can be imprisoned for the actions of one person. Thus, they may endure a lifetime of hard labor in labor camps, even if the initial offense was committed by their grandparents. Many human rights organizations and the international community have condemned this 3-generation punishment policy as inhumane and a violation of basic human rights. The prison camps in North Korea, known as Kwanliso, have been the subject of numerous detailed reports about harsh conditions and severe human rights violations. What are your thoughts on this cruel rule? Please share your opinions below. Number 19. Camp 22, the brutal detention center. Camp 22 in North Korea is notorious for being one of the most brutal prisons in the world. This massive facility, covering an area of 225 square kilometers, detains around 50,000 prisoners. Most of them are imprisoned for various forms of dissent against the government, leading to life sentences. The camp is heavily guarded by electric gates, barbed wire, and armed guards. Inside its solid walls, prisoners endure extremely harsh conditions, including forced labor, meager rations, and frequent physical abuse. Notably, it was reported that Camp 22 was closed after a warden and a guard escaped. The warden's escape to China was considered significant because this role is directly appointed by the Ministry of State Security and holds a very important position. It is speculated that the warden might possess secret information about high-ranking officials. Camp 22 is infamous for its brutal treatment of prisoners, including daily beatings and various forms of coercion. A shocking revelation is that 20–25% of prisoners die each year due to the harsh living conditions. This grim reality highlights the oppressive nature of the North Korean regime and its willingness to crush dissent to maintain control at any cost. Due to the secretive nature of these prison camps, fully understanding the challenges faced by prisoners remains difficult. What are your thoughts on the brutality of Camp 22? Please share your opinions below. Number 18. North Koreans don't call themselves North Koreans. The Korean Peninsula has a long history of being a unified nation spanning thousands of years. However, after World War II, the division created two separate entities in the North and South, each with distinct views on national identity and legitimate governance. Since the entire land was once a unified Korea, they do not call themselves North Koreans. They consider themselves the sole legitimate representatives of all Koreans, despite only controlling the northern part of the peninsula. They see themselves as the true embodiment of Korean identity, inheriting the long-standing heritage and traditions of the nation. Conversely, South Korea claims to be the legitimate government of the entire Korean Peninsula, even though it only controls the southern part. They also view the people in the north as compatriots, hoping for peaceful reunification of the two regions. However, they condemn the political regime in the north, holding it responsible for the division and human rights violations. Number 17. Traffic girls in North Korea. Standing out on the streets with their blue uniforms and black high heels, the traffic girls in Pyongyang are considered a symbol of North Korea's capital. However, what is less known is that they undergo rigorous screening and must be beautiful, single, and retire at the age of 26. These women, officially called traffic security officers, are selected based on criteria that include good looks. The traffic girls in Pyongyang must retire if they get married and must accept the rule of retiring at the age of 26. Currently, there are 300 traffic girls in Pyongyang. Interestingly, their 400 male counterparts face no age restrictions. Ri Myung-sim, a traffic girl, shared that the training is very strenuous, but whenever she feels exhausted. The thought that leader Kim Jong Un cares about the people's happiness and watches them perform their duties motivates her to continue training late into the night and persist through the next day without feeling tired. Number 16. No laughing aloud. In 2021, to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the death of former Supreme Leader Kim Jong Un, locals were also prohibited from engaging in recreational activities. During the 11-day mourning period, they were forbidden to laugh. Anyone caught smiling on the streets would be considered a criminal. Even on December 17th, the day Kim Jong Un died, North Koreans were banned from going to grocery stores. In the past, many people caught drinking alcohol or being drunk during mourning periods were arrested and treated as ideological criminals. They were taken away, and no one saw them again. Additionally, during this mourning period, even if a family member passed away, people were not allowed to cry out loud. Celebrating birthdays was also forbidden if the date fell within this period. All flags were flown at half-mast, and sirens blared at noon on the anniversary for 3 minutes for the entire population to bow their heads in remembrance. All means of transportation, including ships and trains, sounded their horns at noon on the anniversary to commemorate the death of the late leader Kim Jong Un. Crowds gathered at Mansu Hill in Pyongyang to lay flowers and bow before the giant statues of Kim Jong Un and his father, Kim Il-sung. Number 15. Strict hairstyle regulations in North Korea. In this authoritarian country, hairstyles are not merely a matter of personal taste, but are strictly regulated by the government. This rule applies to both men and women, with a list of about 30 approved hairstyles. Choices are largely confined to traditional styles, completely excluding modern styles like spiky hair or layered cuts. Young men must keep their hair short, no longer than 5 centimeters, and cut it every 2 weeks. Women have more options, and married women are allowed to have more elaborate hairstyles than single women. North Korea's control over hairstyles reflects a distinctive aspect of the government's oversight of people's lives. Personal freedom is limited, and individuals can face severe punishment for expressing their personality through their hairstyle. Many North Koreans feel like they are living in a never-ending nightmare due to these unusual policies. This is why many risk their lives on dangerous journeys to seek freedom and better opportunities elsewhere. These hairstyle regulations might seem baffling and unacceptable to outsiders, but they are just one part of the propaganda machinery the government uses to maintain control. Number 14, ban on South Korean dramas. K-dramas from South Korea, known for their captivating stories and talented actors, have won the hearts of audiences worldwide. However, in North Korea, these popular television shows are completely banned. The ban on K-drama stems from the North Korean government's effort to control the thoughts and behaviors of its people. They fear that these South Korean programs could negatively influence the populace, exposing them to different cultures and values that deviate from the official ideology. The North Korean government has taken stringent measures to enforce the ban. For example, 2 teenagers were punished for watching and sharing K-dramas with their friends. Some children have even been imprisoned for watching South Korean shows. The government also controls the borders to prevent the smuggling of DVDs and other media from China. Despite the ban and the inherent risks, many North Koreans still find ways to watch K-dramas by secretly buying DVDs or accessing the internet illegally. This demonstrates their intense desire for entertainment and connection with the outside world. Number 13. Government control over residents in the capital. One thing North Korea wants to keep hidden is that the country tightly controls almost every aspect of life, from basic needs like food and hygiene to where people live. In this dictatorship, moving to the capital, Pyongyang, requires government approval. Furthermore, anyone driving a dirty vehicle into the capital faces punishment. Residents also need travel permits to leave Pyongyang. These regulations highlight the extent of control the government exercises over its citizens, including where they live and how they travel. Even relocating to or from Pyongyang needs government permission. People's residences are often assigned by the authorities, and free movement within the country is severely restricted. Number 12. Blue jeans are forbidden in North Korea. In North Korea, blue jeans are banned because the government considers them a symbol of American imperialism and Western influence. This ban conveys a clear message of the government's disapproval of the West, particularly the United States. Moreover, fashion restrictions in North Korea extend far beyond just blue jeans. The government exercises tight control over citizens' attire, dictating who can wear what to ensure alignment with their ideals and to prevent external influences. This control over clothing appears to be part of a broader strategy by the government to shield the country from outside influences. For example, high heels are deemed too extravagant for everyday wear. Men are required to keep their hair short. Women have specific regulations regarding hairstyles. Skirts and dresses must be longer than knee length, and revealing or tight clothing is prohibited. Interestingly, the ban on blue jeans has created a black market for Western-style clothing. Some North Koreans secretly buy blue jeans and other forbidden items, wearing them discreetly as a form of resistance against the oppressive regime and as an expression of their desire for freedom and modernity. Despite the strict regulations on blue jeans, reports suggest that government officials and North Korean elites covertly wear Western-style clothing, including blue jeans. This double standard violation highlights the stark contrast between the lives of the ruling elite and the ordinary citizens who are forced to comply with the government's harsh regulations. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts with me. Number 11. International phone calls are prohibited. In North Korea, making international phone calls is illegal. Research by Amnesty International has shed light on the government's tight control over communication technologies, particularly the prohibition of communication with countries they view as adversaries, which can result in imprisonment if violated. Although there are over 3 million mobile phone users in North Korea, the network is exclusively for local use and is off-limits to foreigners. North Koreans are not allowed to contact relatives who have left the country, and those who dare to make such calls risk severe consequences, including imprisonment or being sent to political prison camps. Arnold Fang, an East Asia researcher at Amnesty International, emphasized that basic human needs, such as the ability to communicate with family and friends, should never lead to arrest and punishment. In recent years, the North Korean government has tightened its control over telecommunications, especially since Kim Jong Un came to power in 2011. This increased control is driven by growing concerns about the threat that modern technology poses to government control and national stability. Number 10. Unable to buy cars. As of 2019, North Korea had approximately 23,000 cars for a population of about 25 million, according to KBS. Several factors contribute to the low number of cars per capita, including regulations, prices, and the market. Before 2017, owning a car in North Korea was nearly impossible, despite the country having a car industry since the 1950s. The law did not permit individuals to own cars, except in special cases for work or state institutions. Since 2017, North Korea has allowed individuals to purchase cars, and North Koreans can own personal vehicles, citing that private cars could positively contribute to the national transportation system. However, registering and purchasing a car remains difficult due to complicated approval processes and background checks. To register a car, it must be a servisa. There are two types of service. The first includes trucks and buses owned by state organizations or companies for transportation purposes. The second type is privately owned but registered through a transportation company. This is how people can own cars. Others rely on foreign nationals or work related to foreign organizations to facilitate car purchases. After registration, owners must pay various fees such as company usage fees and circulation fees to use their cars normally. Another reason for the difficulty in buying cars is the high cost. According to the Heritage Foundation in 2016, the average price of a car in North Korea was about $10,000, while the average annual income was only around $1,300. Additionally, fuel purchases are limited, further complicating car ownership. North Korea remains under sanctions, preventing many manufacturers from selling cars in the country. Limited internet access also makes it difficult for people to find information about cars. North Korea mainly features old-fashioned, unappealing car models, but luxury models are not absent. Number 9. The world's most difficult visa to obtain. North Korea is currently the hardest country to obtain a visa for as a tourist. To apply for a North Korean visa, you must go through a travel company offering state-approved tours. If you hold a U.S. passport or come from South Korea, you are not eligible for a North Korean visa. Even if you meet the requirements, the process is not simple. Travel to North Korea is only possible through government-approved travel agencies. These agencies are responsible for arranging every aspect of the trip, including visa applications, flight and hotel bookings, creating itineraries, and providing guides. Additionally, the North Korean government maintains tight control over tourism. All tours are state-organized and operated through the Tourism Office, which consists of 4 main travel companies. Currently, most tourists to North Korea come from China. Tourists are only allowed to enter North Korea on tightly controlled tours with an accompanying guide. The guide ensures that tourists follow the itinerary, do not wander off, and do not interact with locals freely. Tourists are often confined to specific areas and are not allowed to explore independently. Number 8. Internet access is forbidden. In addition to banning international phone calls, the North Korean government imposes strict restrictions on internet use and information access. Citizens are only allowed to access government-approved websites and services, and the use of VPNs and other technologies to bypass these restrictions is prohibited. To own a personal computer, North Koreans need a permit from local authorities and must register with the police, a process similar to owning dangerous weapons like handguns. Most citizens are banned from owning personal fax machines, and even sending faxes requires approval from high-ranking officials. Possessing pirated DVDs, including South Korean TV dramas, can lead to severe consequences, including labor camp imprisonment, even if caught merely in possession without engaging in trafficking. Despite these strict limitations, North Korea provides limited and closely monitored internet access. Their version of the internet, known as Kwangmyong, is a tightly controlled intranet that filters content, offering only information that aligns with state ideology. The purpose behind allowing limited internet access remains mysterious. Some experts speculate that it allows the government to monitor and surveil citizens, while others believe it might be used for cyber warfare activities against other nations. North Korea has also developed its own operating system, Red Star OS, a heavily modified version of Linux. The government actively promotes the use of this operating system to maintain strict control over computer usage within the country. Number 7. North Korea has the fourth largest military in the world. North Korea possesses the fourth largest military in the world, which has been a cornerstone of the country for decades. In the 1990s, Kim Jong Un introduced the Songun policy military first, marking a significant shift in the nation's direction. This policy places a strong emphasis on military power, leading North Korea to have the fourth largest active military force globally, with approximately 1.21 million personnel, accounting for 4.7% of the population. More broadly, the total number of military personnel, including reserves and paramilitary forces, reaches nearly 10 million. Mandatory military service applies to both men and women, contributing significantly to the country's formidable military size. Initially, military service was compulsory only for men from the age of 17, with a minimum service period of 10 years. From 2015, women could enlist voluntarily. However, by 2023, mandatory military service has been extended to women aged 17 to 23, equivalent to men. North Korea's military, with its extensive history and considerable scale, plays a crucial role in national security and symbolizes the government's commitment to defending the country. Number 6. Control of television. The Central Broadcasting Committee of North Korea and the Propaganda and Agitation Department of the Workers' Party of Korea exercise tight control over television content broadcast within the country. Almost every household owns a television pre-installed with state-run channels, making it a powerful tool for the government to shape information and entertainment for the populace. North Korea operates only a limited number of television channels, specifically 4 channels entirely controlled by the state. This strict control aims to limit access to external information and consolidate government power. The main channels include Korean Central Television KCTV focuses on news, propaganda, history, broadcasting, and emergency communications. Mansusong TV is dedicated to educational programming. Rangamsan TV is aimed at students, offering educational content and entertainment programs. Sports TV broadcast sports competitions involving North Korean athletes and sports documentaries about North Korea. The South Korean government has taken measures to restrict the types of televisions allowed in the country. They only sell TVs equipped with the country's own broadcast system to prevent citizens from watching broadcasts from South Korea or China. This restriction aims to control the flow of information and prevent North Koreans from encountering different perspectives, especially from freer societies like China. This tightly controlled television environment helps the government shape public perception and maintain control over information and entertainment. What are your thoughts on these restrictions? Feel free to share below. Number 5. Frequent power outages. In 2014, an astronaut captured a striking image of the Korean Peninsula and neighboring countries from the International Space Station. The photo highlighted the stark contrast in nighttime lighting between North Korea and the wealthier South Korea and China. North Korea was shrouded in darkness while its neighbors were brightly lit. Despite some recent efforts to improve nighttime lighting in North Korea, the pace of change remains slow compared to neighboring countries. The Kim Jong Un Development Initiative has focused on constructing housing and infrastructure in certain areas, leading to noticeable improvements in nighttime lighting. However, much of the country still struggles with power shortages. North Korea's power infrastructure is outdated and deteriorating, resulting in frequent blackouts and energy waste. International sanctions have made it difficult for North Korea to access the technology and resources needed to improve its power system. Additionally, North Korea relies on coal and other fossil fuels for electricity, contributing to environmental pollution and climate change. Completing the Chongjin power plant, a project spanning 4 decades, represents a significant step in addressing North Korea's electricity shortage. Would you be able to live in a country with such conditions? Share your thoughts below. Number 4. You may be invited to eat dog meat. One of the most distinctive aspects of North Korean cuisine is dog meat. In North Korea, dog meat is considered a delicacy, especially during the hottest days of the year. It is often prepared as soup or grilled. Eating dog meat might be off-putting to Western visitors due to their cultural norms and animal protection laws. However, in North Korea, dog meat is viewed as a nutritious food source. Apart from dog meat, North Korean cuisine has other distinctive features compared to neighboring countries. Overall, North Korean dishes are relatively simple and less spicy. Common foods include white rice, cold noodles, soup, vegetables, and grilled meat. Due to economic hardships and international isolation, North Korea frequently faces food ingredient shortages, impacting the diversity and richness of its cuisine. Additionally, street food culture is not well developed in North Korea. Most people eat at home or in simple restaurants. What are your thoughts on the local cuisine? Please share your opinions below. Number 3. No Coca-Cola or McDonald's. Currently, North Korea and Cuba are the only 2 countries where Coca-Cola is not permitted to operate. Sanctions have prevented the American beverage company from entering these markets. However, North Koreans can still purchase Coca-Cola, but it is not the genuine product. Instead, they get a cocoa-flavored soda. According to The Telegraph, if you are a wealthy North Korean, a Chinese businessman, or an international traveler, you might still find authentic Coca-Cola from Italian sources at upscale grocery stores or restaurants in North Korea. Similarly, McDonald's is not allowed to operate in North Korea. Therefore, the locals cannot order a Big Mac, fries, or any other items from the McDonald's menu. However, The Telegraph reports that wealthy North Koreans circumvent the sanctions by purchasing McDonald's products through the national airline Air Koryo. Some affluent individuals occasionally buy hamburgers at restaurants in Pyongyang. Kim Jong Un, Illinois, claimed to have created a hamburger called Goggyeobang, described as a double bun with meat. Number 2. North Korea has its own calendar. The Juche calendar originates from North Korea's unique Juche ideology, marking a distinct way of measuring years in the country. It is based on the birth year of Kim Il-sung, the founder of North Korea, and designates 1912 as Year 1 Juche. The Juche calendar was publicly introduced 3 years after Kim Il-sung's death in 1993. It is based on the Juche philosophy, which emphasizes self-reliance, patriotism, and reverence for Kim Il-sung and his successors. Essentially, it promotes ongoing veneration of the Kim family without expecting external support or intervention. In 1997, on the 3rd anniversary of Kim Il-sung's death, an official decree was issued to formally establish the Juche calendar and designate Kim Il-sung's birthday as the Day of the Sun. Since September 9, 1997, the Juche calendar has replaced the Gregorian calendar in official documents, media, and public records, aligning with the date of the founding of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The adoption of the Juche calendar underscores the North Korean government's commitment to developing a cult of personality around its leaders. It serves as a powerful tool to maintain the memory and reverence for Kim Il-sung and his successes in national culture and daily life. Number 1. Difficult dirt roads. North Korea's road network, particularly outside the capital Pyongyang, is known for its lack of infrastructure and maintenance. Tourists frequently report challenging experiences traveling by road. Most roads outside Pyongyang are unpaved, resulting in rough, potholed, and gravelly surfaces. This makes traveling by vehicle, especially cars, difficult and bumpy. Additionally, the lack of maintenance leads to increasing potholes and deep holes, posing dangers for road users due to inadequate drainage systems. Roads often flood after heavy rains, complicating travel and causing further road damage. Many roads in North Korea, especially in rural areas, lack public lighting, making nighttime travel hazardous, particularly for cyclists and pedestrians. Traffic density outside Pyongyang is quite low, resulting in less road security. Driving alone at night can be risky. The North Korean government also imposes numerous travel restrictions on its citizens. Tourists are usually only allowed to travel on designated routes and must be accompanied by a guide. So we've explored 23 things North Korea doesn't want you to see. What do you think about these issues or visiting North Korea? Feel free to comment and share your thoughts. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest videos. See you in the next videos.